When we talk about graphing cosecant, we're just going to look at the parent functions of secant and cosecant. Cosecant here is actually the reciprocal of sine. So we're going to start by looking at graphing sine. Let me get my graph set up here. So we're going to start by looking at the graph of sine. Now I'm going to start with 0. And if I think about the unit circle, 0 would be here, and our sine, our y value, would be 0. So sine starts at 0, and if you'll remember, at pi over 2, sine is 1. At pi, sine is 0. At 3 pi over 2, sine is -1, so it starts looking like this, and then back up to 2 pi, and so on. So sine looks like this, and that's something we've known, and the period is 2 pi. But let's think about what cosecant looks like. So since cosecant is 1 over sine, cosecant at 0 is 1 over 0. And 1 over 0 is undefined. So cosecant at 0 is undefined. So we have an asymptote. Okay, let's think about it pi over 2. Sine at pi over 2 is 1. Cosecant is 1 over sine. So at pi over 2, cosecant is going to be 1. So same as this. At pi, sine is 0. Cosecant is 1 over sine, so that's undefined. So at pi, we have undefined. You can see how this would be, just keep going in the same thing. So you're going to have asymptotes on cosecant. The asymptotes are going to be at the pi's. But we know that the graph can't just be a point right here. So let's go back and let's think about then what would happen in between these places. So I'm going to check out and see what happens at pi over 4. So pi over 4 will be somewhere in here. Sine at pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. Cosecant is 1 over that, so it would actually be 2 over the square root of 2. And I'm going to type that into the calculator and see what the decimal is. I get 1.41. So that means that at pi over 4, I'm at 1.41. It's about right in there. The same thing is going to happen at this other place, which would be 3 pi over 4. It's also going to be in here. So what's going to happen for cosecant is you're going to get a graph that kind of looks like this. And we could try this out over and over. What happens between here and here is sine is negative, so cosine is going to be negative. So you're going to have a graph that kind of looks like this. So when I did this at the wrong spot. This should be down something like that. So when I graph cosecant, I always start with the sine graph, I draw in my asymptotes, and then I connect at each of the peaks of the wave.